Right, in this video we're going to look at how do you actually sketch a quadratic. Remember, when you're sketching anything, you basically need to know where does the graph touch the y-axis, the y-intercept, where does the graph touch the x-intercept. In this case, because it's a quadratic, there might not be a spot. Now think about what that looks like. It could be a quadratic that looks like this, for example, not touching the x-axis, so they wouldn't exist. We also need the turning point, so where does the graph actually turn around, and the axis of symmetry is like the x graph that it turns about. Okay, so what does a problem like this look like? Okay, so this one's asking us to sketch y equals x squared minus 8x plus 15 using the y-intercept, x-intercept, turning point, and the axis of symmetry. So the first thing is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. So we substitute 0 into the equation for x and find out what y is. So 0 squared minus 8 times 0 would be 15. And this as a point would be 0, 15. So we have 1 point now for our sketch. Next thing we want to find is our x-intercepts, and this is when y equals 0. So where does the graph touch the x-axis at y equals 0? So we're going to solve x squared, take 8x plus 15 equals 0. Now this is where you have a choice. You can factorize it if it's easy to factorize, or you can complete the square and solve from there. Now in this case, factorizing is pretty simple. So it's the 15 is by the 5 times 3, and 5 minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8. So we've got the two factors. Remember the null factor law. One of these has to be equal to 0. So minus 5, x minus 5 is equal to 0, x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x would be 5 or 3, and as 2 points, that would be 5, 0, and 3, 0. So that's, now we have the x-intercept, so 2 points there, and the y-intercept, that's 3 points. We need a turning point. Now, if you had completed the square, that's really easy. You just read it off. It's negative hk, but you didn't complete the square. We factorized over here. So we need another rule for finding turning point. In this case, the turning point for the formula, which is in the general form, equal to 0, the formula is negative b divided by 2a will get you the x value. So negative b in this case is negative 8, negative 8 is 8. 2 times a in this case is 1, so 2 times 1. 4 is the x value of the turning point. Substitute this back into the original formula to find out the y value, and now you have a turning point. At this stage, all you got to do is put it all on a graph. So it's a sketch. It does not need to be accurate. Okay, so we're turning at 4, negative 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put the 5 in there. 4, negative 1. We're turning here. We're going through 5 and 3, so we're going through here and here, and we're going to come up and hit that axis, and that where we're hitting is 0, 15. Okay, so that's our sketch, and that's how you go about obtaining it. All right, let's have a look at another one then. Why not? I hear you say, this time our formula has been given to us in the turning point form. We still do exactly the same things, it just makes the turning point really, really easy to read off, which is great. Okay, let's have a look. We want the y-intercepts first. That's when x is equal to 0. Substitute in 0 plus 2 squared minus 9. Substitute it in, solve, minus 5. Written as a point, 0 minus 5. Now we want the x-intercepts, and this is where y is equal to 0. So this whole equation n is going to be equal to 0. This is like somebody else completed the square for us, and we thank them very much for that. So all we need to do is rearrange this. Right, solve. Move the 9 over, move the square over. Remember, square root of 9 is 2 answers, plus 3 and minus 3. So solving with the plus 3, take 2, we get 1. With the minus 3, take 2, we get minus 5. That's 2 points. 1, 0, minus 5, 0. Now we need a turning point. It's in a turning point form. So remember, the plus 2 means it moves to the left 2, so negative 2, and the minus 9 moves and moves down. So it moved across to the left 2 and down 9. So it's turning there. Now all you need to do is put it on a sketch, x and y axis. We're turning at negative 2 and negative 9, so just going to put them on. So we're turning here. We're going through 1, 0, so through there, and -5, 3, 4, 5. So we're going through there, and we should cut through 0, -5. Oh, obviously, that's a really terrible graph. So we should cut through 0, -5, so it should have come up there. So just always check that, right? We should have cut through 0, -5 according to our y-intercept, so always check that. And that is how you sketch a graph, whether it's in the general form or the turning point form. We find the y-intercept where x is equal to 0. We find the x-intercepts where y is equal to 0 using factorizing or completing the square. It doesn't really matter. And then we find the turning point using the turning point form, reading it off as h, -hk, or the x value is -b on 2a. So we're back in and solve, put all the points on and draw your u. And that's how you sketch a graph. Good luck and enjoy.